Okay, y'all. Well, I did it again. I started the video and realized that I did not have this thing turned on, so I'm starting over. I'm making empanadas. So I'm going to be making my own shells, the disc, but since that's a longer process, and you can buy those at Walmart, they were out, so I didn't have any. I'll be making those separately. I'm just showing you the meat. Now, in this meat, I've got about a pound of hamburger meat, and I've got a roll of the Jimmy Dean hot sausage. Now, I use the hot because it's got all the seasonings in it. Now, you can buy pork. You can buy the ground pork, which is fine. I just like to do it this way because if you've ever seen me, I like to take shortcuts and it still tastes the same. For vegetables, it calls for onions, bell pepper, and celery, and jalapenos, if you like jalapenos, and garlic. So again, as a shortcut, I usually use my seasoning blend. And this seasoning blend has the onions, it has the peppers, and it has the celery. And it also has parsley in it. So this pretty much has everything that I need. So I just use this because, again, makes it simpler. I also put a clove, one large clove of celery in here. I'm going to also be seasoning this with salt. Okay, I'm going to use salt. Use pepper. And you can make this as spicy as you want. I'm also going to go ahead and just put some garlic powder because, you know, I like the flavor. I'm going to put some of my crazy mixed up salts. Again, I know this may seem like a lot of seasoning, but I promise it works out in the end. And then I'm going to be putting Creole seasoning. Now, you can use just cayenne or anything like that, but since I am using the spicy sausage, I'm going to go ahead and just use some of the Creole mix. Now, once this cooks down, all of this cooks in, I'm going to add in a half a cup of beef stock as well as a half a cup of flour. So let me get this cooked in. Let me get all the vegetables cooked and all the seasonings in. I'll taste it before I put it in the shells, of course, and we'll see if I need to add anything else. But for now, this is the empanada meat, and it's getting cooked right now. So while my dough is resting before I roll it out and do all that fun stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and finish out my meat. So now that the vegetables have gotten clear, I'm going to put in 1 cup of the beef stock, or you can use beef broth. I'm gonna pour this in here, and we're gonna need to cook it for about 5 or 6 minutes till the broth cooks down some. I've got this on medium high. After this cooks down, then I'm going to add my flour, and I'm going to take it off after that cooks down for a few minutes. I'm going to take it off the fire and let it cool just a few minutes while I'm getting my dough rolled out. So just give me a few more minutes and we will get to putting them on the shelf. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes, and as you can see, the broth is cooked down. So now I'm going to add my 4th cup of flour. This is all-purpose flour. Stir this in. You need to make sure that this is well blended in, and so you have your nice filling for your empanadas. And what made me think of this was I went to visit my sister, and on the way back I stopped at this little store and I seen them. I was like, oh my God, I haven't had those in forever. My family's originally from New Orleans and around that area, and so they used to sell them in every little gas station. So I grabbed it and I took me a big old bite, and well, it was not yummy. I mean, just say that. So I was like, I'm going to go home and I am going to make some. So I had looked for the disc so I wouldn't have to, go through the hassle of making the dough. But looks like I'm going to have to make my dough anyway. So I'm going to, you can see all this is mixed in. I'm going to turn this down. And I am going to finish up making my empanada disc, and then we will get them filled. And if there's extra meat left, you can freeze this. So let me just get that last part done, and we will go to filling it and sealing it. And we're going to fry these. I'm not putting them in the oven. I'm going to fry them the way that I've always seen them done. As you can see, my empanada discs are not all exactly the same size, which is why I like buying them in the store instead of trying to do it myself. But anyway, so once you get some, I didn't make all of them for you. What I use is like an ice cream scoop, and I put it in the center. All right. And then you're going to fold it, and you're going to squeeze the edges. Okay. Now I use a fork to seal. I'm going to make sure that it seals all the way around. Okay. All right, now the grease is heating up, so I'm going to get some of these made. We're going to put them in the grease. You're going to fry them. The meat's already cooked, so remember that. So you're going to fry them about 2 or 3 minutes on each side. You're going to flip them once, and once they're golden brown, you take them out. So I'm going to get a few more of these made, and once they go in the oil, I'll... Okay, since I made these kind of big, if you buy the disc in the store, they're the right size, and you would put possibly 2 tablespoons in the middle, but since, again, I'm horrible at measuring out, it's hard for me to get them exactly right. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead. The grease is hot. I'm going to get these down in the grease. Okay, now they're not going to be covered completely. They don't have to be, but you do want to make sure that you flip them in about 2 minutes. So when it's time to flip, I will show y'all, and then once they're done, I'll take them out and we'll cut one open. I did forget to mention, always taste your food. So the meat wound up with all the Creole seasoning and the spiciness from the sausage is spicy, number one, but number two, it was a little bit salty. So you can add, I added a teaspoon of sugar, stirred it up, and then that cut that where it's not too much salt, it's just the right flavor. Okay, I'm gonna finish getting these cooked, but I wanted to go ahead and show y'all. I cut one open. See, they're nice and brown. Can you hear that? The shell is nice and crispy, but you can see the inside is nice and juicy. It is really hot, so I'm gonna wait a second before I take a bite. I'm gonna get these flipped and I'll be right back. All right, turn my grease off for a minute while I kind of just show y'all these. Okay, so as you can see, again, and you can hear the shell is crispy. Now again, using the hot sausage is gonna make it spicy, but you can see the flake is real flaky and it's real crispy. I would recommend, unless you're really good at making these empanada disc, go ahead and get you some at the store, because it just makes it cuts the timing down. But anyway, these are delicious. Y'all have any questions, let me know. If not, one more bite. Enjoy, y'all.